Hello guys, I'm back from another video and today we're talking about deku as a forgemaster. So, in the last video, after meeting up with the League of Villains, they terrorized the students of Class 1A in the, internships. And it probably even killed several heroes, but unfortunately, the heroes found out how they're actually beating them by using, the quirk destroying bullets. And so, after that, they also mourned the death of Ida. But Ida was not, killed, by Izuku, but instead by Stain. And they hate Stain for it, because supposedly Ida wrote on the wall that Stain was trying to kill him. But in actuality, it was actually Izuku who was writing that on the wall. So, after doing that, we moved to a different perspective, being the perspective of Monoma. After meeting Izuku again, well, Izuku had a proposition for her. She was given a choice of either joining him, or just being a hero, or even just deciding to just be a normal human, a normal old civilian. And so, that was basically the end of that episode. And so, let's talk about what happens next. So, we ended off the last episode where she was picking her choice, either joining back with her only friend, Izuku, or at least somewhat only friend, because in Class 1A, not Class 1A, I meant Class 1B, she was actually considered as one of the best students, even liked by many of her classmates. But she doesn't really care all much about them, but only caring about finding Izuku again. After all, she is in love with him. So, after she thought of it a while, she remembers Bakugo, and all the times that she bullied, Izuku, causing him to fall from grace, turning him into this. As she would say this, Izuku, I'll join you. As he would say this, what a wonderful choice. As she would say this, but I will pretend to be a hero so I can give you information. As he would say this, what a great idea. Now, before we can talk a little bit more, I'm going to be going somewhere else. I need to talk to my boss. So, see ya. As he disappears like it was nothing, like he was just turned into dust. As she would say this, what happened to him? He's absolutely different. So, after that little interaction, he goes back as he starts going back to making, night beasts. So, wait for a second, sorry about that. A few days have gone by, as it's literally almost time for them to reveal themselves as the brand new world order. As in, they're literally going to take over the world with the rest of the vampires that are currently still alive. And so, they start getting ready. So, but before that, they're gonna be going to the, not the sports festival, I meant the training camp. So, everybody in Class 1A and Class 1B, they started going to the training camp. It's basically what it's in canon, but except, without Izuku, and Bakugo is being ridiculed right now by Class 1B. Everybody would, try to defend Bakugo, but they would soon realize that Bakugo is quite a bad person. Especially when Izuku and, Aya would, show themselves. So, after, a while, it's basically, we time skip to, to the, test of courage, as everybody started moving. Izuku was given the information that he needs as he starts going there. As they get teleported there by himself, as in just Izuku, he sees that the League of Villains are also there, as Shigaraki would say, "Wait, Izuku? What are you doing here?" As he would say this, "Oh, hey Shigaraki," or should I just call you Shigs as like a nickname? As he would say this, "Just Shigaraki will be good." As the rest of the League of Villains just say this, "Hey Shigaraki, you know him?" As Muscular would say this, "Yeah, this kid looks pretty scrawny. So easily to be crushed." As he would say this, being Izuku, "Say that again, or," as he grabs his sword, "or I'll turn you into one of my minions." As he would say this, "Why, you little? You're trying to fight me? I'm literally a serial killer. And you're trying to fight me? What a as he stabs him right in the chest, turning him into a night beast. A pretty strong one, in fact. It resembles like your old-fashioned, like typical demon, goat face, just like goat face, horns, wings, even goat legs. In fact, as the other League of Villains members start getting afraid of him, like as Shigaraki would say, "Why did you do that?" As he would say this, "He was pissing me off." I mean, what if you were in that situation? Would you disintegrate him, or, as he would say this, "Whatever, so what are you doing here in the first place?" As he would say this, "Well, picking up someone that I'm currently, in league with. I have a spy for UA." As he would say this, "Really? I also spy for UA, but why do you even need a spy?" As he would say this, "Revenge." As Shigaraki would say this, "Revenge? Then what is this revenge you're seeking?" As he would say this, "This entire fucking world. This fucking world only cares about quirks and whatever the hell they are. If you're quirkless, you're basically just trashing them. Less than human. And if you have a weak quirk, you're considered as, somewhat trash, but still. But if you have a villainous quirk, you're considered as the lowest of the low. Even worse than the quirkless. But the quirkless get the bad rep most of the time. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make them pay with their lives. Starting off with a certain guy by the name of All Might, the symbol of tyranny. And I'm gonna make him pay. I'm going to make him pay with his life." As the League of Villains started getting afraid of him, as Shigaraki would say this, "Well then, if you want to kill All Might, then be honest, I don't really care about All Might either. But you can do whatever the hell you want. So, who is the spy for your, organization?" As he would say this, "A girl in Class 1B, and do not touch her. She is a childhood friend of mine." As one of them would say this, "So, are you, in love?" Or, as he would say this, "Yeah, I did have a crush on her, back in the day, but still, she's just a subordinate, nothing more, nothing less." As he would say this, says the guy who's literally, scratching his head, and also, his, face is, blushing to the point that it's basically all red. As he would say this, "Shut up, Mr. Scarface." As he would say this, Scarface?" As he would say this, "What should I call you then? Frankenstein reject?" As he would say this, "Alright, kid, say that again or I'll burn you alive." As, Shigaraki would tell them to stop fighting, as they decided to go their own separate ways, and so Izuku started leaving to get, Monoma for that information. So, just like in canon, the League of Villains attacked, but instead of, Izuku, saving Koda, Koda was, pretty much safe at that point because Muscular was being controlled by him because he did turn him into, a night beast. So, Izuku would tell Muscular to find Monoma, And so, Monoma would see the Night Beast as she would get on, as she would pretend that she was being captured. And so, the rest of like class would be sees this as they would try to save her, but unfortunately they couldn't. As she would say, "So this is Izuku's Night Beast or whatever it is." Huh. And she would see Izuku in one of the mountains, as she would say this. "So, do you have the information for me, Monoma?" As Monoma would say this. Yes, she would explain that Class 1B are going to be planning on getting their hero license after the training camp, but not only that, they're also planning on making, well, wait for a second, not only that, Class 1A is also going to be doing that, as he would say this. Great. As she would say this. And apparently, Class 1A and Class 1B are going to be going into their internships again. As he would say this. Good. Good. Now, I'll be going now. Are you going to be coming with me? After all, you are going to pretend to be kidnapped until you show yourself as your, well, true self. As she would say this. Huh. Okay, let's do this. As she changes into her normal clothes into her brand new vigilante or brand new organization clothes, which resemble like a female Dracula. Not like with the skirt thing, more like it's like she's wearing like a fishnet stockings with like this strap on it. She's also wearing a girder belt under that. She also seems to be wearing a high heel boots, like like studded with like sharp spikes. As for her top, it resembles a turtleneck, but without sleeves. She's also wearing a black jacket with fingerless gloves, as she's wearing a mask that resembles a, well, it seems to have the symbol of a dragon. A dragon being stabbed by a sword, by the way, as there's two holes. Two of them are using like goggles, or at least like goggle type devices, as she's wearing all of that with a top hat. And so she leaves with Izuku. And so they made it to their HQ, as the rest of the vampires are basically ready. Wait for a second. So, Monoma and Izuku would see that they're in a hangar, as they see several soldiers, specifically vampires, wielding modern weaponry instead of like their old weaponry, like for example spears and like swords, but instead they're wearing, well, armor from the military that they have, well, somewhat influenced, and they have guns and other such like modern weaponry, including, well, a large freaking tank. Yeah, they literally have tanks, and also some fighter jets as well. As they see Aya, wait for a second, God. As they see Aya, as she tells her soldiers to get ready, because Doomsday is about to start. The end of an era. The end of the Quirk era. And a new era will be born. The new Dark Ages. But they prefer not to call it the Dark Ages now, because of this technology, this power, and these Quirk users. They're going to be calling it the Age of Twilight. This is going to be the Quirk user's downfall. Because a quirkless kid orchestrated this after they ridiculed him, disowned him, even tortured him. That is their judgment. This is a judgment from God, she says. This is their pain. This is their suffering. This is time. This is the time that we, as vampires, shall rise again and plunge this world into darkness. But now, we shall no longer call it darkness. We shall call it twilight. Dawn. The dawn of twilight. The dawn of a new world. The dawn of the era of the new vampires. As they start, well, cheering, wielding their weapons, shooting up in the sky, but thankfully not getting killed by the bullets. So, as she says this, being Monoma, so those are vampires. As he says this. Exactly. And if you're wondering, well, Monoma, I am not, well, a quirk user. I'm quirkless after all. My powers were gifted to me at a young age, but I didn't notice it at first. Aya told me that my powers are from a different realm. In this case, hell. I'm able to bring back the dead as my internal army. I am a forgemaster, a person that can link myself to hell and bring forth the souls of the damned to wield as my as my invincible army. So, you stand before us as our brand new general, right, Monoma? As I would say this, so this is Izuku's childhood friend. If she dares steal him away, I'm going to murder her. As she would say this, yes, I hate those damn quirk users. I hate them. They're causing suffering for all of those people that are less fortunate than them. It's time for them to face reality and face their judgment. As Izuku would say this, good. Now, let us get ready to present ourselves. As they captured a few cameramen, specifically from a local news station, as they tell them to get ready to record this. And so, when it's like the dawn of like the next day, like not really next day, more like nighttime. Wait for a second. God dang it! It's literally like the next day, as when it's literally nighttime. Like it's literally like nighttime, as everybody is like watching their favorite shows or something like that. And also for like the heroes, they're literally just like watching something, like anything, as their broadcasted show turns off, as a brand new clip comes up, as they see an army, as it pans out, as they see the leader, or the leaders of this group, as they see this. We are the brand new world order. We are the fangs of Critias, and we are vampires. You might not believe this, or you probably think that we have a quirk associated with a vampire, but no, we are vampires from legend. We came back after you quirk users started manifesting. Thanks to that, we've started living among you as quirk users. But it's our time to rise again. It's time for us to cause a brand new era. An era of twilight. An era for you heroes to pay with your lives. Calling yourselves heroes, and especially you, All Might, the so-called hero of peace. The symbol of peace. As Izuku comes up, wearing his, this mask, I forgot. Like, this mask, specifically this one. As he would say this, yes, instead of being the hero of, well, peace, the symbol of peace, you're nothing more than a symbol of tyranny. using your powers to do whatever the hell you want, using that power to oppress the quirkless, oppress the weak, and oppress the so-called quirk users that have villainous quirks. It's time for you to pay with your life. As Monoma would rise up, as she's wearing the mask, as she says this, exactly, as my childhood friend would say, all they think is quirks. And it's time for you to know what quirk users are all about, as they show pictures of several heroes either doing like horrible things or paying off some people to do like horrible things so they can fake saving them. As after they saw all of this footage, everybody would have doubts on heroes right now, but some would think that this is the time to rise up. As several of the League of Villains just see this, as they started laughing, saying, I can't believe it. Wait, did they say that they're vampires? As Toga would say, does that mean that I'm a vampire? As one of them would say, no, you're probably not. And besides, if you are, then just go burn out in the sunlight there. like, uh, even though it's nighttime, it's technically like, I don't know, like he literally just said that to Toga. Wait for a second, as Izuku would say this. Now, this is our time to shine. This is our time to rise up. My brethren, our brethren. Now, let us make these quirk users suffer for their sins. Let these heroes pay with their, well, misdeeds. Allow them to feel those victims' pain. Allow them to feel your pain. As several vampires across different countries started rising up, as they started terrorizing the place. As after that little broadcast, they killed the rest of those, like, well, those cameramen and also that news reporter. Just, like, murdering them and turning them into vampires, or in this case, just normal old thralls, which are just basically vampires, and vampires are basically, like, mindless killing machines. And so, after that little news broadcast, several news reporters start reporting on this, saying that this brand new group of villains have been like rising up recently, calling themselves the New World Order. As several like news bloggers would say that they're probably right because that actual footage was of real people. So yeah, it's a pretty tough spot right now thanks to the heroes. Not the like seriously, during the time when Izuku was in the USJ and literally cutting off the legs of Bakugo, well, let's just say things have gone to shit after that. Especially because of the whole training camp incident. Literally several kids were killed, including some of like Class 1B's, well, students. So, after that little situation, well, Monomod would like convince some of Class 1B to join, or at least the rest of Class 1B that didn't got killed, like for example, Tetsutetsu, Ibara, Mushroom Girl, and Monster. I can't remember the Mushroom Girl or the Monster Man. I can't remember his name. It's like quirk was called Beast or something. And the rotation guy, the one that literally has the ability to like rotate any object of his body, which god, like any type of body part he can rotate, then it must mean that he's able to, actually let's do not like talk about that. So, after convincing some of Class 1B, and for the ones that didn't like, join, like for example, the glue guy, for example, and the shadow guy, they literally got ripped apart by Monoma by copying their quirks. But thanks to a bit of like learning from like from wait for a second. Thanks to a bit of learning from Aya, she's able to use magic now and literally start tearing both of them apart, including some of the members of Class 1A, which she cornered and just like mercilessly murdered them, saying it's their time to shine. It is time for Twilight. It is time for the brand new Twilight Age. She would just like write that on the wall while using a symbol that depicts All Might, or at least a sketch of All Might, but with crossed out eyes and a, well, devil tail and devil horns, because they still believe that All Might is a symbol of tyranny, a symbol of inequality, a symbol of depravity. So, because of this, several heroes are scrambling to try and find this group, as the Hero Commission would try to find them, but unfortunately some vampires got onto the inside of the, Hero Commission, as you know what happens. When some random person decides to come in and say, Hero Commission, can you please, as he would see the rest of the Hero Commission that are mostly quirk users, and also some members are like loyal to like the Hero Commission and still believe that the heroes are good. Well, let's just say their bodies are currently, well, have no blood right now, so they're basically just like sacks of meat and, well, bone. Well, let's just say that random person was, terrified after that. So, yeah, everything is completely gone to shit right now. And let's just say the League of Villains are basically just like prancing around, just like being happy right now. Even, All for One was excited about this prospect. But was wondering about the vampire part, because it seems to be interesting to him. And so, this is going to be the end of this episode. Sorry, guys, this is going to be the end of this episode because, well, tomorrow, like today is currently Ati-Atihan, which is a holiday that we celebrate in Kalibo, or in this case, the Philippines, which I don't like because there's so much noise. So, sorry, I had to like I'm going to be ending the video right here because it's gonna be hell for me. I just hate the noise in like Ati-Atihan, so sorry, I'm going to be ending the video this short. So sorry. So I hope you liked the video, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.